A little girl was excited for her first plane trip, but when a technical malfunction threatens the aircraft and she is the only one who can save everyone, her world changes forever. Dear viewers, welcome to our channel. Subscribe to receive more stories every day. The airport was as busy as ever when Megan and her 5-year-old daughter, Lily, arrived to embark on their first trip to Texas. It would be their first visit to Adventure Kingdom, a famous amusement park. Mother and daughter were dressed comfortably, ready to face long hours on the plane. "I'm so excited, Mom. I can't wait to meet all the characters," said the little girl, her eyes shining with excitement. "Me too, sweetie. This trip is going to be very special, and we're going to have a lot of fun together," said Megan, smiling. Megan walked through the airport while Lily jumped up and down, unable to control her energy. They visited some stores and ended up buying decorative stickers of various Adventure Kingdom characters to stick on their suitcases, already getting into the mood for the trip. They also stopped to appreciate a group of musicians who were playing cheerful music. Lily, unable to contain herself, began to dance, attracting the attention of other travelers watching the performance, and they applauded her. Megan, like a proud mother, recorded the whole scene and shared it with her family. When it was time to board, Lily helped her mother with the bags, and the attendant at the sticker store, seeing that Lily was a very special little girl, gave her a sticker that was just as special. "Look, Mom, I got a special Adventure Kingdom sticker," she said, showing it to Megan. Her mother smiled and said, "Oh, that's very nice of her, darling. Let's put it in your travel journal. It'll look great." After going through the necessary procedures, mother and daughter entered the boarding area to wait for their flight. They found a small play area for children, and Lily played there while they waited. Lily had a lot of fun with other children who were also waiting for their flight with their parents. Finally, the time for their flight arrived, and Megan and Lily grabbed their suitcases and headed for the line to board the plane. Lily asked her mother how airplanes could fly so high in the sky, and Megan explained everything. "The plane is like a big, powerful machine, right, Mom?" asked the little girl, amazed by the idea. "That's right, my darling," replied Megan, smiling. When it was their turn, they boarded the plane and were met by a very friendly stewardess who helped them settle into their seats. Lily couldn't help herself, and all she could do was stare out of the plane's window, waiting for it to take off. "Look, Mom, we're going to fly," said the little girl, very excited. "That's right, honey. We're going to soar high and have the best adventure ever," said Megan, squeezing Lily's hand affectionately. The pilot made the announcements, confirming the weather conditions, flight time, and passing on the appropriate safety information while the stewardesses presented the instructions. Megan helped her daughter to put on her seatbelt while Lily tried to pay extra attention to the instructions that were given. "All right, now we are ready to fly," said Megan, adjusting her own belt. The plane began to take off slowly, and Lily could barely contain her excitement. She looked frantically out of the window, following every movement of the aircraft. Very curious, she asked her mother all sorts of questions about the plane. "Mom, how can such a big, heavy plane fly?" "Well, honey, the airplane has wings and engines that make it fly," Megan explained. And then the plane started to go faster and faster, and suddenly it was high in the sky, flying. Megan and Lily felt a wave of excitement as they saw the houses and cars getting smaller and smaller. Mother and daughter held hands, sharing such a magical experience. When the plane reached a certain height, the lights went up, indicating that the passengers could move around freely. Megan grabbed some paper and crayons to entertain Lily during the trip. Very excited about her trip, Lily drew a beautiful, colorful plane with the words "Adventure Kingdom" written on it. After a while, a stewardess passed by, serving drinks and snacks. Lily chose an orange juice and a packet of cookies. Megan was also very excited. This would be a trip that would remain in little Lily's memory as a very special moment between the two of them. Megan had been saving money for a long time to arrange this magical trip for her daughter. It would be Lily's first trip to Adventure Kingdom, and Megan wanted everything to be perfect. She wanted this trip to be a time of relief for both of them, even more so after the difficult time they had been through. Megan had recently reunited with her husband after a long deployment, and this trip was a way to celebrate being together again. Lily had missed her father terribly and was excited to share stories with him when they returned. "Hey darling, I know things have been tough lately, but this trip is going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be able to spend a lot of time together," said Megan, trying to lift Lily's spirits. "I know, Mom. I do miss Dad, but it's okay. We'll have a lot of fun," said the little girl. Over the last few months, Megan had done everything possible to take care of her daughter on her own and keep the household routine as normal as possible. She tried her best to spend more quality time with her daughter, doing fun things to make up for her father's absence. Now that her husband was back, the family was looking forward to making new memories together. "When we get to Adventure Kingdom, we'll go to all the attractions, and we will meet all the characters you want. It's going to be a lot of fun," Megan said excitedly. "Yay! It's going to be the best trip ever," said Lily with a smile on her face. But everyone on the plane couldn't have imagined that in a matter of hours, their lives would change forever. The trip to Texas would take approximately 8 hours, and everything seemed to be going well. The passengers were all settled in their seats, enjoying the long journey. Some were sleeping, some were watching movies, and some were commenting on their destinations. However, after almost 4 hours of flying, a sudden storm began to form, and the plane began to experience turbulence. Because of the storm, the pilot was unable to contact the control tower and was forced to make quick decisions to ensure everyone's safety. The turbulence kept going, and all the passengers started to get scared. "Mom, I'm scared," said Lily, squeezing her mother's hand. "It's all right, it's just turbulence. It'll pass soon, don't worry about it, okay?" said Megan, trying to calm her daughter down, but she was scared too. To regain contact with the control tower, the pilot would have to get out of the storm, increasing the plane's altitude. But what nobody expected was that while they were trying to increase altitude, the plane would suffer a major technical malfunction, and all the aircraft's control systems would be compromised. The lights went out, and for a moment, everything was silent. The oxygen masks fell off, and the plane began to shake violently. The passengers began to despair and screamed in fear. The stewardesses were fighting against the noise, trying to explain the correct way to use the oxygen masks. "We are going to die!" People screamed, terrified. "Please keep calm and stay in your seats. Everyone needs to pay attention. Put on your seat belts and put on your oxygen masks immediately," ordered a stewardess. All that fuss only made Lily even more frightened. "Everything will be okay, darling. Let's just do what the kind girl said. Let's put on our seat belts and oxygen masks, okay?" said Megan, following the instructions given. The next few minutes were filled with terror and despair. The pilot and his crew struggled to avoid crashing, trying to reconnect the plane's systems to call the control tower for help. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We've encountered a technical malfunction but are taking steps to manage the situation. Please remain calm and follow the crew's orders," announced the pilot, trying to keep his voice steady. The stewardesses went from seat to seat, checking if everyone had their seat belts and oxygen masks put on properly. The frightened passengers said little prayers or cried silently, seeking consolation at such a difficult time. "The plane is going to crash and we will die," shouted a desperate woman. "We're going to die. We're going to die," echoed someone else, crying. Little Lily was terrified. She held on tightly to her mother, trying to understand what was happening. Despite the critical situation, Megan tried to remain calm in order to reassure her daughter and protect her. And then, suddenly, the plane began to lose altitude rapidly, and the passengers started screaming in despair. The pilot announced that they were doing everything they could to control the situation, but that everyone should prepare for the worst. "I love you, Lily. No matter what happens, we'll be together," said Megan, hugging her daughter with all her strength. "I love you too, Mom," replied the little girl, sobbing. The pilot tried to keep the aircraft as stable as possible, while the co-pilot tried to contact the control tower. "This is Flight 376 to ATC. We've encountered severe turbulence. The aircraft is damaged. Mayday, mayday, mayday. We lost control. We need help. Mayday, mayday." The co-pilot continued, his voice trembling. The stewardesses got ready and sat down in their seats, also putting on their oxygen masks. They kept trying to calm the passengers, who were desperately screaming. Cries, screams, and prayers filled the atmosphere of the cabin with even more despair. Even in the face of chaos, the crew maintained their professionalism, trying to calm down the passengers. Megan held Lily against her chest, praying that somehow they could get out of this situation alive. The despair was palpable, and everyone thought that moment would be the end. "We're out of time. We need to do something now," exclaimed the pilot, breaking out in a cold sweat. "Ah, pull up, pull up." After so much effort, the pilots managed to stabilize the plane. They looked at each other in relief, but they still needed to get the plane's systems back online. "The plane is stable. We need to communicate our situation to the tower now," said the pilot, trying to stay calm. The passengers were desperate and in shock. They cried, they shouted, they prayed, hoping that everything would work out soon. The pilot and his team were discussing what they should do to recover the plane's systems. The aircraft was stable for the moment, but if something wasn't done immediately, the plane would crash, and that would be the end for everyone. "We have to find a solution. The plane won't be stable for long. If we don't do anything, the plane will fall," said the pilot, worried. While they were discussing possible solutions, a light came on in the control panel, indicating a possible problem with the system's control reset buttons. Luckily, the co-pilot was also an engineer and had technical knowledge of the airplane's construction. "If we could reset the controls in the maintenance compartment, maybe we could regain control of the plane." It was a very good solution, but there was only one problem. The maintenance compartment could only be accessed from the outside of the plane. However, the co-pilot knew that inside the plane, there was a small opening, and someone very small could access the maintenance compartment through there. "It's an impossible job for us adults, but maybe a small child could do it, right?" he said positively. The stewardesses then explained the situation to the passengers, saying that they needed a child to access the maintenance compartment. Only then would they be able to regain control of the aircraft and save everyone. Without thinking twice, Megan raised her hand, pointing to her daughter. "My daughter is small. Maybe she can help." The stewardess approached Megan and explained the situation again in a way that Lily could understand. She said that she needed the little girl to press the correct buttons so that the plane could start working again. "It's a bit scary, Lily, but you are our only hope. Are you brave enough to try it?" asked the stewardess. Lily hesitated, but her mother encouraged her. "You are the bravest person I know, Lily. You can do it." Lily understood that she would do something very important, so she agreed to help. And so the stewardess took the mother and daughter to the pilot, and he showed her where she would have to enter to press the buttons. The reset sequence needed to be done in a specific order, and the co-pilot would explain everything to Lily over the radio. "We're all rooting for you, Lily," said the stewardess while the little girl was preparing to enter the compartment. Megan, very proud, hugged her daughter and encouraged her before she entered the compartment. Lily, full of courage and despite her young age, knew she couldn't make a mistake because everyone's life was in her small hands. With a determined look, the little girl entered the narrow compartment. Despite the fear and all the responsibility she had on her shoulders, Lily began to crawl through the tight space towards the reset controls. The compartment was very cramped and dark. It was difficult to breathe, and Lily could only see thanks to a small flashlight that the stewardess gave her. Meanwhile, the passengers prayed and spoke words of encouragement to the little girl, knowing that their fate was in her hands. Megan waited anxiously for her daughter, praying silently that she would succeed. When Lily reached the maintenance compartment, the co-pilot started talking to her, guiding her to find the right buttons. He spoke calmly with a soft voice, trying to explain everything as simply as possible so that little Lily wouldn't get confused. "Okay, Lily, do you see the blue button? Can you press it for me?" he guided patiently. "Yes, I can." "Done," she replied. Scared, with her little hands trembling, the little girl pressed the button. The compartment was full of controls and buttons of all colors. Little Lily was worried that she wouldn't be able to complete her mission. Lily took a deep breath and concentrated solely on the co-pilot's instructions. She had to do everything correctly. The fate of the plane was in her hands. Meanwhile, Megan, the pilot, the stewardesses, and all the passengers were tensely waiting for the co-pilot and Lily to finish their big mission. Now and then, Megan encouraged her daughter by telling her to take it easy and breathe deeply. The co-pilot continued to instruct her, speaking in a caring and understanding tone. "You're doing great, Lily. Now, can you press the red button for me, please?" "Yes, sir," Lily replied, doing as the pilot had instructed. Even though she was scared, Lily knew she had to save everyone, and she did what she was told very carefully. The silence in the cabin was only interrupted by the co-pilot's voice giving instructions, and Lily's little voice responding accordingly. "Okay, now see the yellow button. Can you press it?" said the co-pilot, admiring the little girl's courage. Time didn't seem to pass. Everyone was apprehensive, but little by little, Lily managed to press all the buttons in the correct order. And then it was time to press the last button, the green one. All eyes were fixed on the cabin, and the silence was deafening. "You did great, Lily. Are you ready for the last one? Just press the green button and it's done," said the co-pilot, his voice carrying the hope they all shared. Lily, with her sweaty little hands and a pounding heart, pressed the last button. At that very moment, the lights on the plane came back on, and the control system went back online. A huge sigh of relief and joy washed over everyone on board. "Yeah!" Everyone cheered and applauded as the little girl left the compartment. Megan cried with pride and joy while helping her daughter get out. "My precious daughter, you were brilliant, my love," said Megan, hugging her little heroine. "You did it, Lily. You saved us all," said the stewardess with tears in her eyes. Lily was still a little frightened, but she was happy that she had managed to complete her mission and save everyone. The pilot, in an emotional voice, thanked the little girl over the radio. "The crew and all the passengers thank you, Lily. You are a brave girl, and thanks to you we can continue our flight safely. You saved us all." Lily could finally take a big weight off her shoulders and feel safe and happy again. She was very relieved that it was all over. Even though she was afraid, she faced a difficult situation, and with great determination, she saved the lives of everyone on the plane. And so the journey proceeded without further problems. When the plane finally landed, the airport was in great commotion, as all the employees already knew about Lily's great feat and how she had saved everyone's lives. Passengers and airport staff cheered for Lily as she walked out of the plane, smiling from ear to ear. As a reward for their bravery, the airline presented Lily and her mother with a special VIP tour of Adventure Kingdom and a luxury travel experience for their next trip. Finally, mother and daughter were able to make their dream trip to Adventure Kingdom, where they made unforgettable memories and had the best time of their lives. The story of Lily's courage became known worldwide, serving as proof that even the smallest of us can do great things. From that moment on, Lily was known as the girl who saved an airplane with her bravery and determination, even in the face of fear and danger, and became a true hero. Dear viewers, thank you for watching. If you like this story, please subscribe to our channel to receive more stories every day. Share with us what you think of this story.